Me, testing.
You ain't so tough with that bad boy tuck. I'ma get it how I'm living, I'ma walk the walk. Outline my lines, I rap through thought.
Yo, what's poppin', gangsters? Welcome back to the channel Football Therapy with me, your host, Jan. As always, I do hope you're doing well, mate. I really do hope that. And welcome to Chelsea news. Lots of Chelsea news flying around the headlines at the moment. What a perfect time to talk about it with you, mate. I'm still sick, still nasally. Excuse me if I sound a bit or while I pan my nose, is because, yeah, I'm still suffering from man flu / the sniffles, so we're going to try and get through this together. But in today's video, I'm going to speak about Xavi Simons, or Simons, isn't it? Xavi Simons. Because Romano said Chelsea are looking at him. We know one thing's for sure, Chelsea are going to go, quote, big. Yeah, this is what Cy Phillips is saying as well. Big on 3 positions. Those positions are a striker, a defender, and a right-footed winger. This is where Xavi Simons comes in. Simons. I'm going to say Simons because I think that's how you pronounce it. And ahead of the Tottenham game, Romeo Lavia has been injured again. I do want to speak about this because I'm not giving up on this kid. He is a really good player. And if we can bring back Reece James from the dead, why not this kid as well? So we'll get into all of it today. I also want to speak about Marc Guehi because there's an article on Give Me Sport about him as well. So we're gonna get into all of it. I'll thank you for joining me, and thank you for your support as always. It's most appreciated. It really is, my friend. You can show that support just by dropping a like on this video, and if you are yet to subscribe, why not subscribe? Hey. We are stuck in this sort of half space of 191,000 subscribers, which, by the way, is loads. So don't worry, I'm very appreciative. But let's see if, one day we can get over the line at 200,000. Because, why not? Why not do it together? Be part of the ride, Okay. Let's start off with Romeo Lavia. Obviously, this is coming from Maresca's, this is on 90 Min, but it's coming from Maresca's pre-match press conference today ahead of Tottenham. Now, we know that Palmer, Jackson, Madueke are all back fit and firing, which really only left Lavia. Now, Lavia kind of is in that trio of perpetually injured players of Wesley Fofana, Reece James, and himself, Lavia. Now, fortunately, it looks like we may, touch wood, fingers crossed, everything crossed, we've solved the Reece James conundrum, and rightly so. They're still being very, very careful with him. Chelsea and hopefully England and Tuchel as well. So we can just see Reece James as a consistent footballer again. So, credit to them if they continue to do that right. And Wesley Fofana, yeah, seems to be available again. But sadly, Lavia isn't, and he had a setback, and possibly it would seem he might not be available ahead of the Tottenham game. Maresca said this: he was doing better in terms of progress, but unfortunately, 1 day ago he had a small problem, so we're going to go and see it in the next hours. He cost a lot of money, up to £57 million, Romeo Lavia. But he's a really great player. Of course, this is one of the many players that Liverpool wanted that ended up at Chelsea. Of course, the 2 high-profile and latest ones are Caicedo and Lavia in the same transfer window. He's very, very good, Romeo Lavia. He's a different profile. I know people will be like, well, who knows? Well, Santos is coming back, and who knows what happens with Leslie Ugachukwu. I mean, Santos and Lavia are very different functionally. Santos is an absolute superstar, and he'll help to the defense, and he'll help to goal scoring, which is a great combination as a midfielder, innit? But Lavia is kind of different in terms of ball progression, receiving balls on the half turn, and carrying, and this, that, and the other. There's sort of different pieces on the chessboard. And Lavia, I'm not going to give up on because Chelsea have looked a lot better with him in the side. It might be a slight coincidence, maybe not. But, he's still so young, Romeo Lavia. So we have time. Unfortunately, it's not like the biggest problem position at the moment, but we move. So let me know what you think about that. Let's talk a little bit about, we're going to end on Xavi Simons. So let's talk a little bit about Marc Guehi. This is coming from Give Me Sport. It's an exclusive. Chelsea confident they will sign £70 million superstar. Now, I don't think he'll cost £70 million. He was once quoted £70 million. Let's read. Chelsea are planning to prioritise a move for Marc Guehi after deciding they stand a better chance of luring the Crystal Palace star to Stamford Bridge than alternative targets. Of course, he's come from Chelsea. Although the Blues sealed a £62.4 million double deal for Giovanni Kenda and Dario Asugo from Sporting, with the latter to join, of course, there's another loan for Kenda for another year, but Asugo's joining after his loan spell with Las Palmas. Maresca does want to improve his option at the heart of the backline. Asugo is a central defensive midfielder, as far as I understand. He's like the backup rotational understudy to Moises Caicedo, which is great to me. So it kind of means that Leslie Uchukwu is going to go, as far as my understanding is, or my speculation. So Guehi, of course, came through the Chelsea ranks, and we sold him in 2021 to Premier League rivals Crystal Palace for £18 million sterling. Also, I know we've got a sell-on, like a significant sell-on clause for Guehi. Like, had he gone to Newcastle United for 60 or 70 million quid that they were like quoting, we would have made lots. Like, I swear it was like 20 million. Like, I think it's such a really, really sizable sell-on fee, which almost makes you want him just to go elsewhere so you can make even more money on him. I'm not sure how it works when you buy him back yourself. 1 second. Oh, sorry, I just had to cough. I am still sick, guys. Influential figures at Chelsea are adamant they are likely to sign Guehi in the summer, according to Give Me Sports sources, as he still has an emotional attachment to his former employers, and there is confidence that he would be tempted to make the switch from Crystal Palace if given the chance. Bear in mind, Marc Guehi, he captains Crystal Palace now. He's still youngish. He's mid-20s. He's, I mean, a lot of people have him as like a definitive starter for England. Like, he's a great player. You know, he's not a left footer, he's a right footer, but he's a bit of a leader. And, yeah, I do. Yeah. You know, I think it'd be probably a great signing. You know, the Blues have been put on red alert as the central defender is preparing to enter the final 12 months of his contract. Ooh, which allows him to pocket 50k a week. Of course, you'd imagine at least double that, even with our limited, because he'll represent like not a child signing, so we'd probably give him decent wages, and their Premier League counterparts have been unable to convince him to, basically he's not going to re-sign with Palace, so they need to sell him, and they'll sell him with only 12 months left on his deal, and Give Me Sports sources have been informed that Chelsea are confident they'll get the deal over the line for Guehi, who of course played a crucial role in the FA Cup win over Fulham, and is playing incredibly well. So Tottenham Tottenham offered £70 million for him, Tottenham, and it was rejected, which is crazy money. I know Newcastle United were also looking at putting big money in, but apparently Chelsea are confident on getting his signature. Of course, a lot of people want Dean Howson, who's got a £50 million release clause, which actually, I know he's just sort of popped up at Bournemouth, so you'll be like, 50 million quid for this young Bournemouth defender, but actually, he looks mustard, everyone wants him, including Real Madrid, and because he is I know he's sort of dual nationality, Netherlands and Spain, but he's been playing for the Spain national team. You know, he's got the chance to go to Real Madrid. Will go to probably Real Madrid. I would absolutely love it if we signed him, Dean Howson, because he looks like he's got a lot in terms of a defender. But yeah, I mean, Marc Guehi. How much would Marc Guehi cost with 12 months left on this deal? 35 million, which is probably inflated, but in terms of the player you get, it's good, right? I know we sold him for 18 million, but he's gone and become this player. And yeah, it's a shame, like I said, like because we've got the sell-on clause, it's not like a buyback clause. It's so frustrating. I'm not sure there's an inclusion of a discount because of that money going back to yourself. Because it's almost like, do you get 20% of this, what you pay discount off? I mean, I'm scrambling my own brain here. point being, what do you think? Would you be happy with Marc Guehi as a high-profile centre-back signing? Because trust me, a lot of Premier League teams would be very happy to have him in their starting lineup, as is England, right? And England have got all sorts. Levi Colwill, John Stones, Ezri Konsa's, he's got really, really high sort of profile at the moment. Others, centre-backs that I'm not thinking of. So, yeah, let me know. Right, we'll get through this, gang. Strikers, we'll put a pin in for today. I've been speaking about it quite a lot recently, of course. The Arsenal looking at Gyökeres, Osimhen's looking at Chelsea or United or Saudi. Of course, Liam Delap, who's not the sexiest name. A lot of teams want, and actually there might be a bit of a war for Liam Delap. He's going to be 40 million quid, which if Ipswich get relegated, which they will. So 40 million quid for a 21-year-old, Premier League striker that's got into double digits for goals in a relegation team. That's pretty good, really. But it might not be the biggest blockbuster shirt seller, which is one thing. But we know we'll be looking at a wide attacker, a right-footed attacking midfielder / winger. And yes, Fabrizio Romano has confirmed that Chelsea are one of the 4 Premier League clubs that are monitoring the RB Leipzig star, Xavi Simons. And he says this, quote, on his Give Me Sport column, Romano said this: "The feeling is, the sources close to the process, that Xavi Simons could be available for a fee around 58 to 62 million pounds. So significant, but Chelsea are apparently looking to pay a significant fee for 3 positions, and that would include this guy as well. Because remember, Chelsea, like I reflected on and reacted to the story yesterday, they banked a book profit for selling the women's team. They are set to really earn a lot of money from the Club World Cup, and Chelsea will have money to spend, basically. They just will. This won't go on forever, but this summer, they'll hope they qualify for the Champions League. They hope they win the conference. Heck, they hope they do really well in the Club World Cup. Maybe even win it. Yeah? Why not? Why not dream? So the money's going to be there. 58 to 62 million. It doesn't really surprise me because Xavi Simons is a high-profile talent. But let's look at his stats, yeah? Together on... let's get rid of that. On X value, here he is. He is, what is he? He's a chance creator. Hold on, let me move this over a little bit. Not that much. He is, as you can see here, above me, he's a left-sided, right-footed attacking player. He's very, very good at pretty much everything except aerials, which is kind of fun. Shooting, dribbling, assisting, passing, and really strong at recoveries, which is Premier League ready. As you can see here, he's really strong at chance creation. He is a 21-year-old, so tick that box for the Chelsea owners. He's a child. He's a 21-year-old Dutch international who's right-footed and suits. I mean, many people will recoil at a right-footed Bundesliga left-sided attacker and think, is it going to be another Nkunku? Is it going to be another Timo Werner? No, hopefully, especially with, again, really, really good at carries and whatnot. But let's look at his advanced stats for a little bit more further context of what kind of player we are dealing with here. Wow, actually, that looks good. Chance creator. So the polar chart here, as you can see, is actually very, very strong. Incredibly, his expected assists is maxed out. His expected threat from carries, which is dribbled, is maxed out. His expected offensive value added, which is a sort of aggregation of how generally he helps the attack, is also maxed out. Very, very strong passes into the final third, non-penalty expected goals, and dribbles 1, which I guess is completing his dribbles. Successful cutbacks is low. I wonder if that's a systemic team thing rather than anything else. And actually, guys, in terms of his profiling here on X value, he is top. He's top of the ruddy tree. Players like Julian Brandt, like a couple of ranks down. They're really high profile players. He does look really strong, actually. His expected goals is in the top 20% of wide attackers. He's in the top 2% for expected assists, so he's incredibly creative. 1 second, someone's at my door. Guess what? It wasn't anyone at my door. It was my ruddy cat hitting the cat flap again as per usual. Yeah, look, basically, guys, chance creation off the chain here. Top 2% for open play expected assists and open play. Expected assists as well. Open play and expected, so both like dead ball and open play. And his expected offensive value added, he's in the top 3% of all players of his type. It keeps getting better. He's good at combinational play. 1-2s open and closed. 91st percentile, 98th percentile. He's just very, very good at what he does. Yeah, like, I kind of get it. I kind of get why he'd cost so much money, to be honest, because if he is the profile of player looking for, he's top of the tree in that sense. I kind of like want to put it out to you guys, like, how do you feel about it? Do you think he'd be a good signing for, say, let's say 60 million quid? Is he someone you want? Do you sort of trust the plan that we're looking for a chance creator, and then therefore he's the guy? He's 21. He looks like, he's scoring big goals for Netherlands and stuff. Probably quite exciting, really. But I leave it up to you guys as per usual. Let's hear your comments down, or read your comments down in the comment section. Again, I'm really sick still, so I'm doing shorter videos. Thank you for supporting me as always by liking and subscribing. Of course, there are daily videos on the second channel. I'll be uploading again in the evening, so go check out Football Yannick for non-Chelsea content. And I hope to see you back here soon. Peace.